I'm Mirror,
I'm Bells.
and this is Mirror and Bells. And what are we talking about today, Bells?
Right. Why I got nervous?
Yeah, why are you laughing?
Because I'm
Maybe this is your
looking
first
at you.
time.
Because I'm looking at you and you're smiling.
I'm always smiling. I'm happy to see you.
Anyway, today we'll be talking about episode 1 and 2 of the new series, To Be Hero X.
Yeah, I just had to rewatch TV Hero X because I took all that trust garbage as metaphors, and it's actually real.
Me, I was taking everything for real. I was gripping. That
No,
T-pose
because
was real.
in the second season
Let
when
me
old
not
girl
get
was
ahead
like,
of
"Oh,"
myself.
in this or second season, girl, when the second episode when old girl when Moon was like, "Oh, because the people want us to be together, my teleportation power only leads to you." I was like, "What the?" Did I miss something?
That scene is very sad in the grand scheme of things. Like, we'll get there when we get there.
This show reminds me of Dandadan with the up and down emotional scenes, which you wouldn't know because you didn't finish it.
I want y'all to know that we're looking at each other through the camera, and my mouth is wide open. It's on the floor.
Because you've had weeks.
Because why she told you guys? Why did she do that?
At this point, the second core is going to be up before you watch it.
Why? And I bet you I have that second core finished before you. Now I'm determined.
That's how it ends up
No,
happening.
let's talk about how I told you to watch My Hero Vigilantes, and then you're talking about, oh, I'll watch it today.
Because
What? I told you to watch it a week ago.
I watched
There's a whole second episode now.
I didn't see a second episode. There's no second episode yet.
I'm lying. My bad. I didn't check. I'm just believing what you said, so I'm lying. My bad. I thought it played. That means that it played this week, which means I need to go look up what day it actually came out. Anyways, this video is not about them, so they have to get kicked to the curb.
And I watched To Be Hero X, and right when you told me, like
I'm proud of you.
I think I was just so amazed by To Be Hero X that I forgot about. I honestly just forgot about Vigilante. It's not that I made the conscious choice to not watch it.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely did not think that, because you usually, whenever I send you to go watch something and then you watch it, whether it's like on the spot or later, you don't like say anything about it. But like you instantly had stuff to say about it right then and there, like at the 23 minutes mark.
Yeah, because that woman was dead, and they still haven't explained that.
Clearly, it's not for them to explain right now. But going off of the synopsis, because again, it's only been 2 weeks. So, in a world full of brilliant heroes, it's the trust of fans that turn heroes into superheroes. If a hero loses the people's trust, they lose their special abilities. Trust value is collected, quantified, and used to determine a hero's ranking, displayed on their wrist. Every 2 years, the top heroes go to a tournament to fight, determine new trust values, and earn their rankings.
Wow, I could have just read the synopsis. Why didn't you just tell me to go read the synopsis?
I forgot what the synopsis entailed. I actually went in semi-blind because the only thing I knew about this was in the background of the first episode. You'll see on the like their city's kind of set up like a cleaner New York. But in the background, you see like the kind of jumbotron, and it's Hero X. It's like Mr. X. And the only reason why I know his name is Mr. X is because a year ago there was a trailer of it in Chinese, and I scoured the internet trying to figure out where this white-haired dude who kept snapping his fingers and changing the like animation style of the trailer, and it was the trailer for this. But I didn't know that when I sat down to watch this until the opening played. So
now Bells is tired of hearing me say this, but I do not like this animation style.
You know what?
I'll
let that slide.
Like how it like changes. I like how like in the beginning, like when we come in, they have kind of like that, like the more retro animation style, and then we get into like real life and like it looks, like that kind of CGI animation, and then like in the fights it changes. So I do like the changing animation styles, but I don't like the base animation style that the show is in, like how Arcane is. I don't like that.
So I'm okay with you saying it this time. And I say that because I watched it and then I told Lens about it. And I said, at this point, I'm going to have to get on my hands, knees, and cry to get Mirror to watch it. Like, because I knew that was going to come out of your mouth, but I'm not mad about it in this context or regard because it is very wonky. You know me, you've never heard me say like full out, just downright first comment, like, damn, this animation, this ain't it. Like, you don't really hear me say that. I don't watch stuff that like I'm even going to like even think or feel that way about. So for me, it was jarring. I like every animation style that they have put the show in. Again, because I like comics, so I like that cartoony style. I like the gritty realism. And that there's one that's in between that I don't really know how to describe, but I'm not mad at it. I enjoy the switch. I enjoy the change. And I enjoy the grittier storytelling because this may be a darker story than what it is portrayed to be us for now.
It most certainly is. We literally saw a corpse at the end of the first episode.
But
also, I feel like the whole thing, I mean, we haven't got to this in the story, but in the synopsis, the whole thing about like they fight in tournaments to upgrade trust. Why would seeing you beat on other heroes make me upgrade my trust for you?
Because I know that if I get in trouble and you fly into the scene, you're gonna be whooping the ops ass.
Just because you can beat the number 4 hero doesn't mean you can beat the op.
The number 4 the number 4 hero was smacking on heroes and winning. So if I'm winning against him, I'm clearly at least capable. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna win, but I'm capable. Okay. And also you have to think about it this way. It's really not even about like, oh, you fighting other heroes. It's supposed to gain trust in you to save me. A lot from what I've gathered, like there's a lot of showboating. There's a lot of what I display to you is what I really am, which is not the truth, but that is the reality that they live in. Because we'll get to that when we get there. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go over the first episode.
Yeah, so yeah, seeing the scene where like Nice just like casually descends and then just walks off the building, and then it's like you see him walk off the building and like he's supposed to be a hero, right? You see him walk on the building.
Wait. You're just gonna skip our boy?
Yes.
Why?
Anyways, so you see him walk off because the whole freaking story is gonna be about him. We'll talk about him. What you want to talk about how he got fired embarrassed? Like, who cares? We all watched the episode. But as Nice was walking past Lin Ling, you know what's funny is I did think, well, they kind of look alike.
Yeah, I was like, same dude, different colorway.
Yeah, I was like, they look alike. I was like, is this by design? But anyways, and then like when Nice jumped off the building, I'm thinking like this is like My Hero Academia. So like when he just like literally died a human's death by falling off the building, I was like, what the frick? I was like, it was that easy to kill him this whole time? He could just die by blunt force trauma?
Honestly, I looked at that scene and because it was funny to me because Ling Ling is over here was like, oh, once you get old and ugly, they're gonna replace you and there's gonna be another you, Nice. Like he's just crashing out, and then here comes Nice slowly aura farming because that's the type of walk this was. It was like he was about to go beat up an op or do something super cool, and then he just walks off the building before he actually casually descends. He does the pose and then falls to kill himself. Like, what?
I thought he was gonna walk by without even like.
You thought he was just gonna walk on air or something?
No, I thought he just wasn't gonna acknowledge it because he kind of acted like he didn't exist, and then at the last minute he was like, he did the pose, and it's like I just want to know what he was going through to do that. And then old girl was like, you know, he made a decision, and you'll have to make one too. Why would you say that? Do you want me here or not?
Thank you. Like you forced me to be nice, and now so basically you're telling me one day I'll have the decision to kill myself, but that's not now, so we'll worry about it later, and that I should make the right decision, which to you the right decision is to make you use me for the rest of my days. What? I think I would have jumped off the building that night.
Yeah, also did Lin Ling not have like any family or friends or because they don't really tell us about anything about his life before he became Nice. Like we just know he had a job. Like I mean he had that's a pretty good job. Like, so like he didn't have a life outside of that, like no friends, no nothing, nobody that would care that he croaked.
He might not have had any family or wasn't in touch with them and everything, and he might have been like what we see in Asian culture as like just chronically overworked. Like that man said like literally Moon was his whole everything, and constantly making ads. Like literally, we saw a ton of ads that he had made in the past month all show up on the screen, and there was multiple. Those don't just come out of your ass, by the way. No.
It was very surprising, like during the interview where he answered like how many ads she had done and how long they were, because whenever I do a project at work and then somebody comes to me and is like, "Oh, how did you do this?" It could have been last week. I don't remember. I don't remember how I did that.
Yeah, that is crazy, but that also lets you know he was very passionate about his job. He also paid very close attention to detail, cuz let's not act like they might not have been the only people who made ads for them, but he was able to retain the information long enough to know, like, oh yeah, that's the ad I made for Moon a month ago. Like he wasn't just making a whole different ad for Nice when he got fired. That was a
Yeah,
great
but
ad,
it's
by the
very
way. That was
interesting.
a great ad.
It was a great ad, but it was very interesting. Like the boss was, I mean, well, I guess it wasn't that great because they fired because the old, like the woman, the producer or whatever, didn't like it. And that's why his business went under. So I guess it wasn't that good. But I don't know why the boss was talking about something like, oh, you're ordinary. There's nothing extraordinary about you when you can literally become a hero off of trust level. Like he could be an influencer and just start becoming a hero. Like the
Which is
ad was
literally
correct.
what
Anyone
Moon
really
did.
can become a hero.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know, the ad, okay, it was a great ad in general. It was a bad ad for what her purposes were. That's the whole reason why she was like, you know what, this is garbage. Fire all of them. We're not working with them again. Because again, she says in the second episode, she makes a comment, oh, Nice is our biggest moneymaker. And yes, the people should believe that, oh yeah, we have the power to make heroes, but only to a certain extent. Where he lost what they wanted was that like anybody can be a hero.
Yeah, because you
True.
wanted to stay aspirational.
Yeah, you wanted to stay like, oh yeah, you have the ability to make a hero. By your trust, Nice can continue to do what he does and save us and blah 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 blah. Nice, 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 nice. There was no tie back to Nice. There was no tie back to Nice. So it then became about the people, which again, great ad, just wrong thing to be advertising. It was a great ad if you wanted to like basically incite the people to like be motivated and everything else. But horrible ad if you were trying to brand Nice. Which on TikTok, this is what I actually was gonna mention earlier. On TikTok, there was it actually did pretty good numbers. It was a video about like the reason why we'll get there. Anyways, so they basically kidnap Ling Ling after Nice kills himself. And then they're basically trying to just get him to spill all the information on what happened. And he was like, yeah, he just walked past me and jumped off the building. And she was like, what else? And he said he did the pose. That's it. That's it. He didn't say nothing, didn't do anything else, didn't leave any notes, just walk, walk, kaplat.
For real. And then the producer just overtook Lin Ling's life. And I don't know why he didn't like protest. I mean, I guess maybe
Because he
he
wanted to
really
be a
didn't.
hero.
Well, I guess he really didn't have anyone in his life because like because he was just like okay with being dead, like as Lin Ling.
I don't think he was okay with being dead, but I think that the gripe that he has with being dead and forgotten as the person he is and the want to be a hero, like eclipses the want to be known as himself.
For real.
Because
That
even
part.
after this whole situation, we'll get there. I'm getting ahead of myself. That's how I know I'm excited.
So then we get into basically him playing nice, and he meets Moon in person for the first time. And apparently, in the second episode, she said he knew he wasn't him as soon as she saw him, or as soon as he opened his mouth.
Which that's crazy. That means that Nice was never nice to that girl. Because through the episode, I thought to myself, like, oh yeah, Nice may have just been like super tolerant to Moon because she hated the idea of even playing this man's girlfriend. She didn't want to be anywhere near him. So either he was way worse than we think he was, or they were just so tolerant that it was like suffocating just being near somebody who doesn't like you but doesn't dislike you either.
Yeah. I wonder if we're gonna get more background into like who Nice was as a person, because yeah, basically see who Nice was as a person and like if he was really just putting up this big old facade. Because the thing is like they did actually live together. So they were like an actual couple.
Yeah, it was in the contract. You can
Yes.
be in contractual relationships. I read about those type of marriages all the time. Don't read that type of garbage, children. It's not good for you. It rots your brain and it makes you all mushy.
Oh shoot. But I kind of forget what happens at the event. And then they go into the interview. Is that the same event?
So yeah, that's outside of Love Recipe.
Oh, okay.
They
Okay, never mind. I didn't forget that.
So they go and they're supposed to be on this Love Recipe, which is it's like a truth about dating show. And the host gets replaced with this other hero. He was at his ranking was 249. His name was the Enlightener, because he's gonna be important later.
He ain't got no
He
trust.
he doesn't have no trust at all, because 249 is crazy. And even when the audience was like, oh, that's why he's 250, he was like, I'm not 250, I'm 249. Like, are you salty?
Must be. Because you might as well be 300 at this point. Who cares?
You round out part enough. Yeah. You're not shit. Like, what's his name is number 10. Like, are we really measuring
For
like
real,
that?
like you're interfacing with like a top 10 hero. Like, get on your knees. What are we talking about?
She said, get on your knees. But so he is the host instead of the host that we were supposed to have, because the host that we actually were supposed to have, yeah, he got caught embezzling. That is so crazy to just happen randomly. But to each his own. I'm not mad at the writing. So the Enlightener is very convinced that Nice is an actor, and he's not talking about our Ling Ling / Nice. He's talking about old Nice number 1, not Nice number
Yes.
2. He thinks Nice number 1 is a fake phony actor, which, from the way that he's essentially being publicly pimped out by his manager, that's true.
I was gonna say something, but I forgot.
Is it Miss J?
I don't know her name. I'm gonna call her freaking Miss Producer.
I'm gonna call her Miss J. Miss J is the most extortive woman I've seen in a very long time.
She don't care about no one. She literally killed Lin Ling. Nice croaked. Nice literally committed suicide because of this job. She said, anyways, on to the next, and then fake killed a dude she had just met, basically uprooting his entire life, and just made him nice, as if the real Nice didn't just kill himself because of this job.
Yeah. Yeah. And then another thing to kind of like nail that in, instead of like really taking a step back and like, oh, dang, maybe like the work conditions shouldn't be that hard. She then goes to manipulate Ling Ling and basically go, oh, yeah, nah, you aren't Ling Ling anymore. You are Nice.
I do not think his name is Ling Ling. I think it's Lin Ling.
Well, my bad. Nice number 2. Because that's who he is. He's Nice number 2. Whoever the hell his name was, he's dead. That's a consensus I'm going off of too. Thanks, Miss J. But she basically tells him like, oh yeah, you are nice. As long as the people see you as nice, believe that you are nice, which literally is, I would love to say like, oh yeah, that's a joke, but it really does become the case. As before he goes to the Love Recipe talk show, he is doing other public events and interacting with fans and being seen. He's also working out and doing the training regimens that Nice had prior to this. And his hair starts turning white. His eyes start to become blue. One of the security guards makes a whole comment about even his voice has changed to sound like Nice's.
Yeah, but it's very interesting that the interviewer was trying to expose Nice as being an actor, because it's like, well, if the people believe that he's nice, then isn't he nice? Like, even if he was an actor at the beginning, doesn't he become nice once his trust level increases? So it's kind of interesting.
Yes, you are very correct, because we see, even he makes a comment in episode 2 and says he was talking to Moon, and Moon said, you shouldn't want to try to be like Nice. It was basically annoying being around Nice all the time because everything had to be perfect. You shouldn't want to be like him. You should want to be like yourself. And he says, like offhandedly says, yeah, I have kind of been a neat freak lately.
Yes, he is becoming nice.
Nice. Yes. This is not, oh, I'm playing nice. If this goes too far, this man will be Nice.
And then he's gonna he's gonna he's gonna
He's gonna
go
kill
ahead and
himself.
freaking moonwalk off the building too.
I mean, that's what Nice did.
That was crazy.
So some people were saying that like when you look at the promotion, like the trailers and like the promotional material of Nice number one, in his eyes, they were like super darkened. They had like such a dim light and they were essentially lifeless compared to a lot of people. And before episode 2 came out, they were suspecting that when Moon looked at Nice, that's how she knew. That's how she knew.
Oh,
Because Nice number 2 has the look of life and is lively, which I don't know if that's for sure because again, she says her and his nemesis, they both say that having having a nemesis for pay is crazy. I just want to state that like that is
well,
one of
no,
the crazy.
it's to manufacture the hero, like the hero gig in the beginning. Like in the beginning, you don't want him to actually be in danger, so you get like a manufactured nemesis, and then they fight until his trust level goes up and he's strong enough to fight real villains.
Yes, no, I understand. I'm just saying it is crazy. Like to think, sit down, think, and be like, yeah, we're gonna pay this other dude to be this man's nemesis.
And then to abandon him.
But that is also very criminal and very crazy.
Like,
It's just
why
like,
does like if they're best friends, why does Nice live in this big old mansion and he lives in his rink-a-dink apartment?
honestly, the way that he was talking about Nice, I thought I thought they were lovers. Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, because the way he was talking about him, his emotions were in it to win it. He had me conned. He had me conned good. Oh well, I'll be right the next time. They all can't. They all can't like boys.
No, they were just best friends. Why are you being weird?
I'm not being weird. It was just a joke.
It wasn't funny.
Yeah, it's not. It's not because like I was very loud and very wrong. He was talking about him with so much passion. Like I would only talk about you like that, pup, but like privately.
But
And
okay, so and then we got the first fight of the season.
beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. It and I feel like that fight was kind of giving Kill la Kill. Like I feel like the animation of the fights kind of give Kill la Kill with all like the flashiness and all the colors.
It was beautiful. I was in love. My favorite scene from the first episode. So I will say I've watched the first episode maybe like 4 or 5 times. And I say that because I was just so enamored. I wanted to like piece together. I wanted to see things I hadn't seen. Like I was excited. I'm excited to see how this goes. If it takes a like very dark turn, I'll be elated. I really will. But if it doesn't, I won't be disappointed. But the way that they have set up and framed this will take a darker turn. There's no way that it does.
Yeah.
Like they set the stage for it, especially the way that episode 1 ended.
Yeah.
The first fight of the season, it was beautiful, and I will definitely say that I loved how bright-eyed and bushy he seemed because he was excited. The adrenaline was rushing. He was even thinking to himself, this is what it feels like to be a hero. And
Yeah.
like when he did that T-pose out of the spin, and he was like it wasn't a smirk. It was like an awkward closed mouth smile. And it wasn't for because a lot of the stuff that he's done has been performative. And even the fight itself is very performative, very flashy and moving. But when he did that T-pose and he's like breathing heavily and he's trying to keep his composure and he's smiling, that's him. That's him. He's excited to be a hero. And you know, that I was just like, that's beautiful. Gorgeous. I love how they captured that because even if you were to mute that scene, you could still see that he was happy to be there.
Yeah, it's very interesting because like Lin Ling is like his voice and like the way he I guess presents himself is like kind of a little bit like more frazzled, a little bit more goofy, but whenever he is playing nice or like the more he becomes nice, his like voice becomes a lot more calm. His facial expression is more like stoic and like he just becomes like much more just much more like calm. Like the calm isn't the word I'm thinking. I think stoic is probably a better word. Like a little bit more stoic versus like his versus like Lin Ling's frazzleness. So
well, you can use stoic, nonchalant, unbothered.
nonchalant.
Another thing, you when you first watched it, did you watch it in Japanese or English?
I watched it in English.
Okay. If you go back and if you watch it in Japanese, our boy, he forever want to be a hero. He's voiced by the same voice actor as the one and only Izuku
Midoriya?
Midoriya.
Okay, when the trailer was on, is this dude a freaking Izuku Midoriya wannabe? What the
No,
frick?
it's him. It's him.
Okay, no, because when I first so I thought that so when I first got into the show, it was playing in Japanese. And I
Mhm.
did think, I was like, is this Izuku Midoriya? And then I was like, anyways, I don't want to watch this in Japanese, and I switched it to English.
I was on the phone with Lens and I was watching it for the second time. And I was just like, you know what? Let me watch it in Japanese because that's how I was supposed to watch it. I just got so excited from because I saw one clip on TikTok. I turned the clip off immediately. I didn't see the fight, but I think like the beginning like of the interview. And I was like, oh, this looks interesting. I kind of like the animation. So I paused it right there and then looked up the name, sat down and watched it. But Crunchyroll puts you in English automatically because that's the language that we speak. So I went and I was
Crunchyroll put me in Japanese. I was mad. I didn't want to watch. And then when I heard that his name was Lin Ling, I was like, is this in China? Why am I hearing Japanese right now?
but we've talked about that on the solo leveling episode. I don't want to start that conversation back up.
But they haven't done
But
any gaziness yet.
true. But then I was like, okay, this is my second time watching it. Let me watch it in Japanese like I intended. And he was full sentence when I started screaming. And the words that came out of my mouth were quote verbatim. My boy secured him another deal as a hero because he knows that next season is his last season. That's what I said. I knew out the gate. First words out of his mouth. That was Deku.
Yeah.
And I was so excited and so like frazzled my damn self that like Lens couldn't even translate what I was saying. He said that it was all just excited, incoherent gibberish.
But actually, I like the second fight, and I like the fight in the second episode more than I like the fight in the first episode because it kind of reminded me of Todo and Itadori versus Hanami, except better.
The Ferk were working. I'm so excited that now I'm like tripping over my own words. Let me calm down.
Because and then it was very confusing because like when we first see the fight of the second episode, we don't know that they're like planning to fake kill Moon to get her out of the contract. And so like they start fighting and then Moon like keeps on trying to like get into the middle of it. And I was so confused and I was confused because like why is the villain just ignoring her? And then why is she trying to get in the middle so bad? It's like, well, I guess she just wants to help Nice. But I was just like so confused. And then we find out that it's because she's supposed to fake die. And then when they actually like start fighting for real, I thought it looked really cool. And then I was wondering during the whole fight, I was like, can she not transport other people? And then she did at the end. I was like, oh shoot. Just like, oh, kind of like how Toto was able to, well, I guess the trick in the end was he clapped his hands and then didn't teleport.
But yes, I agree. I definitely agree that fight looks like that fight. That I thought about that, but I didn't want to say anything because you hate that fight.
I do. But this is better for some reason.
But the footwork. I even said it while we were watching. You probably had me away from me, but I was like, I'm proud of Moon because that footwork she had going on was immaculate.
She
That was
no,
some S tier footwork.
at first when like she was in the fray, I was like, why are the writers writing her so goofy? Like she's not even like doing anything. It looks like she's just getting in the way because she gets into the fray and then Nice has to like save her. And then she actually starts bumping. We're like, oh, okay, now she's actually being an asset and actually helping. But at first it just seemed like she was just getting in the way, which I guess she was because she was trying to die.
Which even putting that into account, still amazing footwork. I definitely was like, is she trying to be a damsel in distress? I definitely was looking like, are we really doing this? That was actually, I got silent in the beginning of well, I was shocked about the wedding happening a week later. So, Miss J, she just moves too fast for me sometimes.
That wasn't the
But
wedding, it was just a proposal.
I don't care. It felt like a wedding. There was too many people there. It was a wedding. No, she's right. It was a proposal. But at first I was just like, are we serious right now? And then I was just like, I guess it makes sense since she's been playing girlfriend for 3 years. But I was like, this is so goofy. And like whenever she was throwing herself in the fight, I was like, I know this ain't how your power works. There's no way. The writing just from the first episode lets me know that the writing is too good to be for you to be going out like this. So especially if you're gonna be the girlfriend of the number 10 hero, you have to be sturdy in some type of way. In that flashback, I watched you kick somebody in the face in a moving car. There's no way that your footwork is this goofy. And then when the guy, the nemesis, the best friend, when he got serious, her footwork got to S tier. Like, are you a S tier hero?
No,
Like,
because then they actually had to get to bumping, and then it's very interesting because because then at the end she like it's very interesting because like there aren't any cameras up there, like no one can see what's going on up there, but she still delivers line as if she's actually dying. And then when Lin Ling is like, no, she's like, remember, it's a blood pack. Like,
and she's like
why are
still
you writing lines like
emotional.
you actually died?
Like she's is still emotional for him because the moon as he knows it is dying. The one that he was making ads for, the one that he believed in and idolized is gone and dead. So
And he's kind of like really by himself. Like I guess like Moon was maybe the only chance where maybe he would kind of have something good in this new life he had, but I mean, I don't know if he's thinking about this, but like now he's kind of like really alone. I mean, maybe he was alone before, so maybe this is better. He's alone, but he gets to be a hero.
he's gonna understand. I definitely think maybe not in this season, maybe in the next season, or maybe one day. I don't know. He will understand what Nice was going through. Because like I think that like, yes, being a hero, great thing. I can understand people's sentiment about wanting to be a hero. But at the same time, it's not all it's cracked up to be. Like I do believe like My Hero does a great job. I think that this show will do a great job of doing it justice too. Of seeing, yes, the fame, the glitz, the glamour, the idolization, it's great. But you really have to love this to do this. You're gonna be getting beat up. You're going to be you know what? I think that the stakes are even higher for these people because of their trust values. Because the moment if a kid dies on my watch, or there's too much wreckage, or I can't save people fast enough, or it wasn't flashy enough, or I didn't smile hard enough, or I didn't do the pose, or I didn't deliver the line right, those all add up. You could really lose it all if you can't play this part perfectly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I don't know, like, has My Hero really delved into the topic of the stress of being a hero? Because I do know they talk about like what does it mean to be a hero, right? To be someone who like basically can't mind their own business. Like they can't keep their feet still when there's someone in need. But like have they talked about like, oh, but when you are a hero, there's just so much pressure to always make the correct decision, to do the right thing. And there's all this pressure when something goes wrong, and then there was just nothing more you could do. I don't remember My Hero really like delving into that topic.
They don't delve. I think that they might handle this and the trust values very differently, but we see it in My Hero in its own way because Endeavor is willing to abuse and use his own wife to make somebody stronger than him because the gap between him and All Might is just so far and so distressing that he will do anything and will do anything, spend anything, commit any amount of time to making a better hero, a hero that he thinks Japan deserves. Like that is very distressing that somebody who could have been a good man. I'm not sure if Endeavor was a good man to begin with. I think he really fell off the deep end and might not have been as good as a man as we might want to believe he was originally, but he was willing to risk it all. And then again, some like even I can't remember his name right now. He's one of Deku's mentors. He had the quirk with his feet. He was short as an old man, but he used to be tall. Yeah,
Grand Torino.
yes, he's the eighth user's baby daddy. That is crazy. When I
Baby
think of,
daddy. Were their parents not married?
I don't know if Nana was married to him, but him and Nana had kids. Did you miss that?
No, that sounds familiar because isn't Shigaraki like her son or her grandson or something?
Yes, Shigaraki is the eighth user of All for Ones.
Grandson.
grandson.
Okay, no, I didn't miss that. I just didn't care.
That's why that's why his father had that extreme hate for heroes, because she was always on the run because of her quirk and trying to get away from One for All, not
Mhm.
trying to put her family in danger. But by doing that, yes, she created one of the most devious villains of all time. And even his grandpa says to him, he's like, yeah, when you see him, you better damn sure even the score, even if that means killing him. Which Nana, even though she is dead, she agrees with her baby daddy that if Shigaraki has to go, you should kill him.
Why do you keep saying baby daddy? They were probably married.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. They
Because
don't ever say it. I
because
don't remember them
because
ever
the
saying it.
son because the son does not reference having a grandpa. Like, or the son doesn't reference having a dad. Like, it's always Nana's fault. Like,
That just sounds like she was a bad mom.
maybe that's very possible, because he didn't seem like a bad dude. He seemed like he knew what, like, when Deku came to him, it seemed like he knew what type of, like, love that he needed. He probably knew that Toshinori was not the best teacher, which he wasn't.
Anyways, it
He's
doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're right. This
It's
is
the
the
wrong
wrong
show.
show. My bad. I guess we'll get into a deep dive about that one day.
One day.
Clearly, I got a lot to say.
We haven't talked about My Hero in a while.
Maybe because they haven't put My Hero on our screen for a while.
I don't think we talked about it last season.
We sure didn't, and we shouldn't, because my boy going outside.
Who's your?
I
Oh
don't.
shit, yeah.
I don't want that to. I don't
I'm
want to
not
talk
gonna
about
lie.
that
I
publicly.
really thought his heart exploded. I don't know why they showed that. Like, why they showed that image when
I
all it
definitely,
happened. Huh?
I definitely thought his heart exploded too.
Yeah, I
I
thought
thought
his
he was
heart was gone.
collateral
So
on
yeah.
site.
So when Bloodshot, is that his name, or did I just make that up?
No, I think that's his name.
Anyways, when Bloodshot was like going in to like try to like stitch his heart together, I was like, oh, so that thing is into smithereens. Interesting.
Because it definitely exploded on screen like it was.
For real.
It exploded so hard, I wiped my face like they splat blood on it.
But yeah, the death scene, like Moon's fake death scene, was very emotional. And like Lin Ling, like for real cried. Like, and I think when he cried, he was crying as Lin Ling, not as Nice. I don't know if, I mean, I wonder what kind of performance Nice would have put on.
That's a great question, especially for a woman he barely cared about.
For real. I don't, but who knows if that would have come about if Nice was still there, because Lin Ling came up with that because he actually cared about Moon and to get her out of the contract.
Oh no, she would end up marrying. She would have ended up marrying Nice, because they can't lock them away in there forever. Like, unfortunately, that's not how this works. They would have had to come to some type of compromise eventually. Now, did Miss J really? You know what? It worked. Miss J must care a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit, because she went and she said, "Oh yeah, instead of postponing the wedding like his plan was to do, she was just like, yeah, we could just kill her, because if we kill her, she'll still be a hero, she'll still have everything she has intact, but she'll get the freedom she wants. She'll be free of all
No,
of
she
this."
did not care about her leaving her legacy. She just cared about having something flashy for the
She
press.
cried.
So something
She
flash.
cried.
Well, it was still sad. No, she only cared about having something flashy for the press. If they didn't come up with her dying, she would have somehow made that girl marry him. She left them in that building for a month with no internet, no food delivery, no nothing. Just because
True.
she shed a tear when someone cried, that just means she's still a little bit human.
No. I said she cared a little bit. A lot? Hell no. She probably cared a sliver. Like
If
a tiny sliver. Like, when you get a splinter, that's how much she cared.
I think if she didn't think that Moon dying was gonna be as big of a story as them getting married, she wouldn't have done it. She did not care about that girl.
Agreed.
She
No,
only
I'm
did it because it probably arguably would have been more flashier than a marriage. And actually, they got best of both worlds because they got the flashiness of the proposal, and then they got the flashiness of her death. Like, imagine your. Anyways, let's just keep talking.
No, go ahead. Imagine. No, let's go. We're talking about this. We're supposed to be hard down. That's the point of these. We're supposed to be hard down, full on out, talking about it. Imagine if. Go ahead. I'm here. I'm excited. I'm here. I'm so excited. I started cleaning my room because I got the jitters.
Oh my goodness. But no, also a comment I had about her death is I was actually very confused when she started bleeding, because I thought the way she started bleeding was very interesting, because I was like, why are you just bleeding out of your chest out of nowhere? Like, did he not, like, shouldn't you have a hole through your chest? I was actually very confused, and I was like, oh, okay, it makes sense that this is fake, because I was very confused by that blood pattern.
I was confused by that blood pattern too, because I didn't see him swipe on her like that. But clearly he nicked her, and that blood bag got the blood bag. Honestly, they sold it so well, and he was so emotional, and she was delivering those lines so good. At a certain point, they conned me in that scene. While she adamantly said out of her mouth that it wasn't real, I thought it was real. I was about to start crying. I
No,
thought she was dead.
I definitely would have cried if she didn't talk about that blood pack, because
Oh
because
yeah.
when she said, "Oh, I was so worried about you that I forgot about myself," I was like, "What the frick?" I was like, because
Yeah, I was
and
like, oh
mind
my
you, we already
gosh.
seen this woman dead on the floor once.
But it was so nice. They thought about doing it twice.
Not you rhyming. Did you do that on purpose?
Yes, of course. I had to.
Oh my goodness. But no, this is a good start to the series. It's a good first two episodes. I'm wondering if I would be into this show if I didn't watch My Hero Academia.
Probably not. Probably not. I can say I probably would have, but you probably would have not. I think that My Hero laid the stonework that you needed, because like even My Hero, when we were watching it as teenagers, you're very judgmental of them back then. You're very judgmental of them back then. I remember you had
I
something to
wasn't
say every episode.
I was in the beginning, but like I think we watched the first 7 or 8 episodes together. And then after that, I definitely was binging by myself in the dark in my room.
I think we both were, because we were always at the same place at the same time.
I mean, when we started watching it, or when I started watching it, there were already 3 seasons out. So I had a lot to binge. Honestly, I might no. I was gonna say, like, honestly, if it weren't for you, like if we weren't watching together and then like recording, I probably would just be here for the animation. But no, that second episode was really good, and that second fight was really good. So I think like if I somehow came upon the first episode by myself, I would still watch. But with My Hero, that maybe not. Like you probably, like, if you didn't baby me through those first like 8 episodes, I probably would have fell off.
Which is crazy. We have a tattoo now. You see how that shaped up?
I forgot about that. That's true. I really don't ever see that thing. I don't even remember the last time I saw it.
I saw it the other day, as in my own. No, but I definitely will say I enjoyed the first episode a lot, and I definitely believe that as the first episode, it has a lot of watchability. You know me, I usually get on you for rewatching. Even though you have, I will admit, you have some banger rewatches. You're not rewatching shit. But
Yeah, I'm not really
but
watching Tokyo Ghoul.
oh God, I would never. I would never. That is I would never rewatch even the early stuff, because the when you get to rewatching, you can get lost. And when you
Yeah.
get lost, you then inevitably will get to that third season, and you'll be like, "Well, I don't know what I'm doing here, and I don't know what's going on like the first time."
Well,
And
to
then you
be
get
fair,
disappointed all over again.
before the third season bombed, I did rewatch the first season probably like 3 times.
I watched it twice, because we waited so long for a second season. But what I will say is, what lets me know that I enjoy a show is when I look up and the episode is done.
That's a good
And
point.
anything that I indulge in, like I'll say it's like everybody love is different for everybody. When you love doing something or love talking to somebody or anything, like you look up and time has passed. Like on like days that me and you are not doing anything, I can look up and it's been 7 hours and it doesn't feel like 7 hours. Like that's if I enjoy something, it has to feel like that, because when I go to rewatch it, it feels timeless. That's how I
Precisely.
know I love something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even this episode 2, when they were giving the option of fear to the enlightener, I was just like, yeah, what's gonna happen next? I was like, wait a minute, a lot has happened already. What minute count we at? And like I looked, I was like, was it really 22 minutes?
What the frick?
The writing is good. The pacing is great. I feel like there's not too much happening. Like the time skips necessary, because like there's only so much banter, only so many cutesy woosy moments I wanted to see between Nice Number 2 and Moon. So, and I also believe that it is good to have questions. We want to know why Moon was dead on the ground in the first one. I want to know why nobody informed this man's best friend and nemesis that Nice was actually dead. I want to know why Miss J is pushing, like, yes, money and stuff, but like, why are you pushing so hard? Do you not have any other heroes in the arsenal? Clearly, you have the authority to lock down the building so that they were stuck in there. So, like, do you control Hero Tower? Like, I have so many questions. I want to
Same.
know how this trust value works better in depth. I want to know a lot.
Yeah, there. I mean, it's only the second episodes. There's still a lot of questions, but so far, what would you rank the show so far?
Off the 2 episodes,
Mm-hmm.
9.
9?
9. And I know, because when you asked me that question, my immediate answer was, it's a 10.
Oh my
But,
gosh.
but, but I'm giving it a 9 because just in case. Right now, it's getting a 9 because if it really like delves into how dark it can be, it doesn't need to be like Tokyo Ghoul dark. It doesn't need to be Jujutsu Kaisen blood everywhere dark. It doesn't need to be that. But if you entertain these darker themes and you be realistic about it, and mental health and this, that, and other thing that you have set the stage for, it's a masterpiece. It's a 10. But if you shy away from those things, you'll still be a 9. If you shy too hard, you'll be an 8.5.
Oh god.
But
I feel
solid
like
9. Even though I do believe both of these episodes were a 10.
oh my goodness. I do feel like if they go into like darker themes and like more of like what it means to be a hero and what trust level means and what goes into like putting up the facade of being a hero to get trust level, because I feel like that's like the big thing. Because like in My Hero Academia, I guess the big thing is like it's more about just like luck. Like you could just, happen to be, you can have the spirit of a hero, but you just weren't given the quirk to be a hero. And that's kind of the downsides of the Hero Society and My Hero Academia. But with To Be Hero X, the downside is anyone can be a hero, but anyone can be a hero. Like you could just have some narcissist that just wants the fame and everything, and who puts up this facade, gets the high trust level, but doesn't really have the heart to be a hero. And you're gonna get people like that A rank hunter from that Red Gate in Solo Leveling.
Oh my god, he was horrible. He deserved everything he
Tank.
got.
Tank.
He deserved everything he got.
But yeah, I think if they go into like themes like that, I think it could definitely be a masterpiece. But right now, it's like a pretty generic anime. Like there's heartfelt scenes, there's funny scenes, there's cool fight scenes. So I would give it a nice, enjoyable 7.
Honestly, I'll take a 7 from you. And I say that because I do believe, like, on record you kind of face things more at face value, but you're hard to please. You're hard to please, and I enjoy that you're hard to please because that means you're not easily entertained. So when you are entertained, I feel like it makes it enjoyable to watch you be entertained, especially if it is something that I recommended. I definitely, it feels like a win. It feels like a win. Like even that 7 feels like a win because I already am down points before we even show up to the plate on story or anything else. I'm already down points on animation. I'm already down on points in animation.
Well, we have to revamp. I don't really remember all the stipulations we have, but we have to revamp our like ranking system because my 7 is based on just like pure like, oh, I'm looking at the show, like how much do I enjoy it? Like, are there any like blaring things that I find wrong or glaring things? Are there any glaring things that I find wrong? Like, so my 7 is based on like pure like I sat down, I watched it, and like how did I feel? But it's not like a critical 7. So I don't remember. We have to like revamp our ranking system, and then like we can go into that, like maybe we could give it like a halfway season ranking when it's halfway through.
But yes, we should revamp that. And I definitely think that if we get to the like just blatant criticals of it, it'll get more than a 7 from you just because of it's critical and not by taste and how you feel. But I definitely believe, because I've seen the trailer and I've seen some of the other heroes from the little teaser that they gave. I won't be showing at all. Again, we had a conversation this morning about something totally unrelated where I was telling one of our friends that she needed to be quiet and not tell Mirror anything because she won't watch. If you give her the sliver of a spoiler, she now doesn't want to watch. Like me, you can tell me how something ends. I'm gonna be like, yeah, I need to see how we got there. But she's not like that at all. She's actually the complete opposite. You will ruin something good if you do that. So because I know that, I did not show you the teaser, and I will not show you the teaser at all. But
sure, because I could probably live a happy life and not watch this show. So if there's any
I'll be
big spoilers,
miserable.
I'll just drop it.
And I'll be miserable. I'll be like, she won't watch it. She won't record about it. She won't even let me show her a clip. I'll start shaking like I'm doing drugs.
Has there been a show like that I've dropped because of that? Like most shows I just kind of drop because
no, there's never been a show that you dropped because of it, but I've gotten warnings like, hey,
I have gone off of a show for a while. I was mad when you spoiled Bomb's outfit change in Tower of God, but I still watched it. It was a good show.
I didn't mean to. That's exactly why I haven't shown you this teaser. And then you
spoiled that Coon's arm got broke, right? And I got mad about that too.
I think that's the year that I learned where the boundaries are. I think
the boundaries is if I didn't ask for it, I don't want to know it. Because there are shows like Boruto, like actually, maybe Boruto is a show because like I just know so much about Boruto. I don't really watch it. I just kind of like watch for fights and like watch for like big plot points. But I kind of just go scour Twitter for like big plot points, and what happened in the manga, and then I just go watch fights when they get animated. Like I don't even really watch that show correctly. So you could get like if I know too many like what the frick? If I can see like what you're looking at in the reflection of your glasses. She took off her glasses. But if I know too many spoilers, you'll get a situation like Boruto where I don't even watch the show for real. Okay, on that note, let's wrap this one up. Bye.
Bye.